All right, let's pull back the curtain on a piece of software you've probably seen the results of, even if you don't know its name. Clip Studio Paint. Think of it as this digital studio in a box that powers so many artists, from folks just starting out all the way to the pros making the manga and comics you can't put down.
You know, have you ever been scrolling through a webtoon or reading a manga and just wondered, how do they do it? How do these artists pump out such amazing work so fast and so consistently? Well, I'll tell you, a huge part of that magic, it's not actually magic. It's the software they're using.
And one of the biggest tools in that arsenal is, you guessed it, Clip Studio Paint. This thing was developed by Celsys over in Japan, and it's so much more than just another drawing app. It was literally built from the ground up for the very specific needs of comic artists, illustrators, and 2D animators.
Now, if Clip Studio Paint doesn't immediately ring a bell, I bet its old name will. For a long, long time, this was known as Manga Studio. Yeah, that Manga Studio. It's the software that a whole generation of us digital artists basically grew up with.
Okay, so what's the big deal? What makes it so special? Well, let's get right to the heart of it, the drawing experience. I mean, this is where Clip Studio Paint just absolutely shines. It has this amazing ability to blend the natural feel of traditional art with all the insane power you get from digital tools.
First off, the brush engine is legendary. Seriously. Artists are always talking about how it feels just like drawing with a real pencil or inking with a G Pen on actual paper. And the pressure sensitivity, it's so customizable you can tweak it until it feels like it was made just for you and your drawing style.
But then you get this digital superpower layered on top of that traditional feel, and that superpower is vector layers. This is the secret sauce, the thing that gives you this incredible flexibility even after you've put down your lines.
So what does that actually mean? What can you do with it? Well, with vectors, you can draw a line and then just grab it, resize it, reshape it. You can take your whole drawing and scale it up to the size of a billboard with literally zero loss in quality. And here's my favorite part for sure. There's a special vector eraser that lets you just zap away the parts of lines where they cross over. It is a huge time saver. Oh, and you can even go back and change how thick or thin your lines are after the fact. It's wild.
And look, don't just take my word for it. Listen to webtoon and character artist Miyuli. She says, "I have to say that I really love the brushes. They are just great to work with and easy to draw illustrations and comics with." When you hear that from a pro, you know it's the real deal.
Okay, so the brushes are amazing, but that's really just the beginning. Beyond that incredible drawing feel, Clip Studio Paint is just jam-packed with these smart tools that are designed to make your life easier and solve some of those classic, frustrating artist problems.
You know the struggle, right? Trying to draw a tricky pose or spending hours and hours searching for the perfect reference photo? It can be a total nightmare. Well, this is where the 3D models come in and save the day. You just grab one of the built-in figures, tweak its proportions, pose it exactly how you need it, and boom, you've got a perfect reference right there in your canvas. No more endless Google image searches.
Honestly, this feature is a total game changer for so many artists. The illustrator Jamila Knopf said, "My favorite feature is the 3D character models, which are easy to position, light, and adjust in proportion. It just takes all the guesswork and frustration out of nailing those really tough poses." And the smart tools just keep on coming. You've got these incredible perspective rulers that make drawing complex backgrounds almost foolproof. There's a smart coloring tool that can figure out how to fill in your line art even if you left some little gaps. It can even generate automatic shadows for you if you just tell it where the light is coming from. And then there's Puppet Warp, which lets you nudge and adjust parts of your drawing without having to redraw the whole thing. Every single one of these is a massive time saver.
All right, so we've talked a lot about general illustration, but now let's get into the stuff that really earned this software's original name, Manga Studio. We're talking about the powerhouse tools built specifically for storytellers, for people making comics and animation.
It really is a complete comic creation toolkit all in one place. Everything you could possibly need is built right in. You need panel frames? Bam, done. Speech balloons? Got them, and they're totally editable. Those classic effect lines for big action moments? Yup. A massive library of screen tones for that authentic manga vibe? Of course. And, super importantly, it has export tools designed specifically for that vertical scroll-down format of webtoons.
And that webtoon part is a really big deal these days. Miyuli hits the nail on the head again. She says, it's perfect for drawing webtoons because there are great organizational tools. Also, it's super easy to export the entire webtoon at a suitable size. It's all about making that process smooth,
from your first sketch to hitting publish.
Okay, let's switch gears to animation. If you get the Pro version of Clip Studio, you can definitely dip your toes in. It lets you create animations, think cool GIFs or short clips, but you are capped at a 24-frame timeline. It's perfect if you're just doing some simple movements or creating stuff for social media.
But if you're really serious about animation, you're going to want to look at the EX version. This unlocks the whole professional animation suite with, unlimited frames. This is the version that lets artists and even small studios create entire full-length animated shows and movies all inside this one program.
So that brings up a really important question, right? Which version is the right one for you? To really get a handle on the options now, it kind of helps to see where the software came from back in its Manga Studio days.
If you look at its history, you can see how it's grown. It first landed in the West as Manga Studio 5 way back in 2012. Then, in 2016, came the big rebrand to Clip Studio Paint. That's also when they added those all-important animation features. A year later, it went mobile on the iPad, and then just recently, in 2023, version 2.0 dropped, which brought us the pricing model we have today.
So when it comes down to it, you're really choosing between Pro and EX. Let's break it down. Both versions are amazing for illustration, no difference there. Pro gives you that 24-frame animation limit, which is a great place to start. But you're gonna want to jump to EX if you're doing big, multi-page projects, like a whole graphic novel, or if you need that unlimited, full-length animation power. EX also throws in some other really cool Pro features, like being able to automatically pull line art from those 3D models we talked about.
And for a lot of professional artists, making that switch to CSP is a huge moment. I love this quote from comic artist Pedro Arispe, who just says, "After making the switch, I never looked back." I think that really says everything about how essential this software becomes once it's part of your workflow.
So, at the end of the day, Clip Studio Paint is so much more than just a piece of software. It's this incredibly powerful set of tools that's really designed to do one thing: get out of your way. It's about removing all those technical frustrations so that your creativity can just flow, whether you're making one single drawing or an entire animated series. So really, the only question left is, the tools are there. What story are you going to tell?